Hi friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I really hope you're all doing well. I am coming at you today with a reading vlog and I'm super excited for this one because I wanted to do something a little bit differently. And although I had like a clear idea in my mind of wanting to read just romance books in February, I also need to get through this huge pile of unread books that is sitting by my bed. It is out of control. So a few weeks ago I actually decided to sit here and catalogue how many books I actually have that are unread, and it is sitting at somewhere around 157, which is honestly like absolutely ridiculous. So I'm making it my mission to try and read all of those books this year. But I thought rather than just kind of choosing on a whim my next read, I would let somebody else have control over my reading this week, and so I am leaving it in the capable hands of Google's random number generator to decide what I read next. I just thought it could be kind of fun, kind of different. So I'm going to input the numbers and we're going to see which book Google picks for me to read. I will say that if it comes back with a self-help book or like a non-fiction, I'm going to choose again because I'm just really not in a non-fic mindset. Similarly, if it comes back with War and Peace, I'm also not going to be reading War and Peace this week. So those ones I will skip and repick. The other thing is if it comes back with one that is like the second in a series and I haven't read the first in a series yet, I will just read the first one instead. So yeah. Ooh, okay. Oh my gosh. I am actually so intrigued by that book, but I had planned a whole separate reading vlog for that one. So I feel like I'm gonna roll again just because I wanted to do a whole dedicated reading vlog for that. So okay, so the book that Google picked is Ruining Dahlia by C.R. Jane, which I'm actually so stoked about because this means I still get to do my reading nothing but romance books in February. So this is exciting. This is a reverse harem mafia romance. My mum actually bought me this one for Christmas, and although I know next to nothing about it, it had really good reviews, so I'm quite excited to delve in. I think it's like the girl gets sold to a rival mafia family and then I don't know if she's supposed to marry one of them and then ends up involved with all of them. But yeah, I'm so stoked for this one. So I will be finishing up my current read this afternoon, and then as soon as I finish that, we're going to delve into some Ruining Dahlia and see what we think. I'm actually also intrigued because I've not really heard anybody talk about this book. So yeah, I'm stoked. I really hope it's a good one. Okay friends, it's a little bit later. I've just taken a short break from work and I have begun reading Ruining Dahlia. And okay, I have some thoughts. First of all, there is a scene in this book that is weirdly almost identical to the opening in the book that I'm currently writing. So that's great because obviously I have never read this before and there is no way that the author has read what I've written. So it's just pure coincidental, but entirely frustrating. So there's that, which is great. The other thing that's like got to me a little bit is I'm guessing this author is American because the book is set in America, but the opening's set in the UK, and she's trying so hard to not use US like slang terminology, whatever, which is obviously, you know, very much appreciated. But there is one like a glaring error that I have just noticed, and it's just made me laugh more than anything. And it's this girl's flying out of Heathrow to New York, right? And if you know the time difference between the UK and the East Coast of America, the UK is 5 hours ahead of the East Coast in the States. And in this book they're claiming that they're on the red eye, and when they land it will be 4 p.m. in New York, which is fine, but 4 p.m. in New York is only 9 p.m. in the UK, so it's certainly not a red-eye flight. Like, I don't know, I don't think she did her research there on the flight times properly, because that's definitely not a red-eye. That's like a, I don't know, 1 p.m. flight, 2 p.m. flight, if that. So it just made me laugh. But anyway, aside from that, I'm enjoying it. I'm quite liking the fact that the font's huge in this, because I've just finished reading Haunting Adeline and the font's teeny tiny and it's like 630 pages, and I'm enjoying the fact that this is going to be a much quicker read, I think. I mean, Haunting Adeline only took me 4 days, but yeah, I'm enjoying like a quicker read. Hey guys, so I have just finished work for the day and I'm about to delve into Ruining Dahlia a little bit more. First thoughts, I'm actually enjoying it more than I thought I would. I was thinking I was going to need a palette cleanser between finishing Haunting Adeline and picking this up, but actually I think because the writing styles are just incredibly different, I'm not feeling that same way now. I'm actually really enjoying what I'm reading of Ruining Dahlia so far. Granted, I'm only like 80 pages in and it's like a 500-page novel, so there is still like obviously a lot to explore, but I'm finding the writing really accessible, so that's like a good thing. It's not too heavy. Like, I loved Haunting Adeline, but obviously it was very, very dark, and while the writing was really good, it was just very heavy. It was very in-depth, whereas this feels a lot more light-hearted, so that's what I needed. It's also super fast-paced, and I'm really appreciating that as well. Like, so far she's landed in New York, she's met all three of the Rossi brothers, and their kind of individual personalities have been somewhat introduced to us. So far, I don't know who my favourite is. I think it'll end up being Lucian, which is kind of annoying, but I quite like the aloof, like, mysterious character. But obviously we already know it's going to be a reverse harem, so we know that she's going to have some kind of relationship with all three of them. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to kind of delving more into this mafia world. I've noticed since adding it to my Goodreads that it's part of the Mafia Wars series, so this is a series where it was a ton of different mafia romance writers have basically collabed on it. So this is actually book 3 in that series, and then the rest of them are all written, like I said, by different authors. Like Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti have written one, which actually is also on my wish list, so I'll definitely be picking it up after I've read this one, providing I enjoy the rest of this one. And I think from what I'm gathering, each of the books is going to feature a different crime family, because this one already like pays reference to the cartel, like the Russian mafia, the Irish mafia, the British mafia, like all sorts. So yeah, really interesting. I'm looking forward to kind of delving in further and actually getting into the meat of the story. But I think it's gonna be a good one. I think, yeah, Google's picked well so far. Hey friends, it is a Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. It's also Valentine's Day, so happy belated Valentine's Day to you all. I got woken up this morning by a very, very cute Valentine's package from my mama. She's given me a little bottle of Prosecco and loads of little like sweets, and oh, so cute. I went to Starbucks to get my usual drink, and they wrote on my cup, there's a whole latte of love for you, which I thought was so cute. So anyway, I have been doing some work this morning, and I've also been doing a little bit of reading. I have got a little bit further into Ruining Dahlia by C.R. Jane, and I have to say I'm really enjoying it, like more than I was expecting to actually. Like, I thought it would be good because I'd seen that it had good reviews on Amazon, but I wasn't expecting it just to be as readable as it is. The few mafia romances that I've read before have just been, I don't know, not like bad or anything, but I've just found the writing like not particularly engaging to begin with, especially when kind of like establishing the world and the intricacies of whatever mafia family is being featured. But yeah, this one, it seems good so far. We've actually just had Lucian's first POV, which I'm really intrigued by, because like I said last night, he is, I think, out of the 3 guys, the one that I am most like drawn to and the most curious about. So definitely looking forward to learning more about him. I'm probably about quarter of the way through, or coming up on quarter of the way through, so I'm definitely going to get a ton more reading done this afternoon. I need to get more work done first, and then I could go in on the reading. I also do need to do some university at some point, probably later on this evening, so yes. But I just wanted to give you a little update that I have read a bit more and what my thoughts are so far. Obviously I'm going to keep the spoiler free in case any of you guys want to read this book and haven't done already. Hey friends, it's the next day. It is Wednesday. I've just got back from the gym. I'm about to get back into work, but I thought I'd give you a little reading update because I've done a bit of reading today. I'm currently about 2/3 of the way through Ruining Dahlia, and honestly, like, my enjoyment of this book is starting to wane a little bit. The writing's actually starting to get on my nerves. It does feel very, very Wattpad-esque, and not in a good way. I'm finding it just predictable. I'm finding it just very surface level. I think that's the problem. It's very, very surface level. There's very little character development in it. I don't understand the motivations for half of what the characters are doing. I feel like it's supposed to be a reverse harem romance, and yet it's not really reverse hareming right now, and we're 2/3 of the way through. And it just feels lackluster, and it's a real shame because I was really enjoying it to begin with, like more than I thought I would. So I am pretty determined to get this finished today because I don't really want to be reading it for much longer. I'm sad that I've not enjoyed it as much because it was a Christmas present from my mum, and I always just really want to enjoy those books that she gets me. But yeah, like, I didn't hate it, or I'm not hating it rather, I'm just not loving it a lot. So it feels very like insta-lovey. I feel like that's half of my like issue with it right now, is that all of these guys are just like falling in love with her, and why? Like, why? What is making her so different from all the other girls? Like, I don't understand what is setting her apart, and I don't understand the motivations for just falling head over heels in love with somebody from the moment you first meet them. Like, I can kind of understand Lucian a little bit because his is an insta love. Like, he mentions that he's been thinking of her for like the last year, so that's not really, yeah, insta lovey. But Gabriel and Raphael for sure. Like, I'm just questioning a lot of what I'm reading right now, but it's fine. I'm gonna continue picking it up whenever I have a break this afternoon, and then obviously I'm gonna try and finish it this evening so I can wrap up and give you guys my thoughts on this book. But I mean, right now it's probably sitting at like a 2.5, maybe a 3 if we're being generous. So yeah, interesting. Hey guys, it's so much later. It's like 10:30. I've just finished work for the day. I'm so tired, as you can probably see by my face, but I wanted to come on and end the video. My god, I really do look tired. I am so sorry. I wanted to come on and end the video because I finished Ruining Dahlia this afternoon, and I have to say it was a solid 2-star read for me. It had so much promise. It started off so well. I was so invested. I mean, you guys obviously have heard my updates. I was really enjoying it to begin with. I was loving how fast paced it was. I was starting to enjoy the dynamic and what we were learning about the characters. But then as it got further into the book, the characters just never ended up being properly fleshed out. Their motives were never clear. It was very, very two-dimensional. It was incredibly insta-lovey. And then, like, people's, like, affiliations with each other and, like, relationships with each other would just change for no apparent reason and with no kind of, like, exploration or depth behind them, and that became really frustrating. I think it was a book that could have been really, 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 really good, but the execution just was not there, which was such a shame because I really wanted to love it. I've not read a Mafia book in ages, and I thought that was going to be the one for me, but alas, it was not. So Google choosing my next book wasn't the greatest. It could have been so good. It could have been such a success. Sadly, Google failed me on this occasion. However, I am definitely going to try this experiment at some point again because it was fun. I know I didn't get quite as much footage as I'd have liked to for this vlog. It's been quite a heavy work week for me this week. I've been just incredibly busy, so I wasn't able to film as much of me kind of reading and stuff like that as I'd have liked to. I do tend to try and film my reading vlogs mostly on weekends just because I'm able to get more footage, but this week, yeah, that just wasn't to be. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this anyway, as it is. I don't know how good it'll be until I edit it, but I will try and get better footage next time I do a vlog. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Bye guys.